Houthis launch an attack on government forces positions in Lahj and kill 8 soldiers. The government asserts the need to accelerate economic reforms and protect the national currency. Yemen urges the UNESCO to add more sites to the list of the world endangered heritage. Good evening. Welcome to Yemen Today TV. I'm Abir Ali and you're watching the English news. Local sources in Taiz said that government forces defended a Houthi infiltration attempt while alternatively shelling belonging to the Houthi militia. The sources indicated that the government forces and the popular resistance were able to thwart the militia's infiltration north of the city. It indicated that the government forces targeted the Houthi militia in Safed el-Hel, east of Taiz, after an attempt to bomb residential neighborhood. On the same line, government forces stationed in Lahj thwarted another infiltration operation by Houthis. Field military sources indicated that the Houthi militia tried to stop the positions of the 4th Brigade north of Lahj. According to the sources, the forces of 4th Brigade monitored the infiltration attempt and dealt with it. Houthi militia launched an attack on government positions in Lahj province, in which 8 soldiers were reported to be killed. Such an attack confirmed that the rebel militia would never stick to peace. This report has more.
At least 8 people were killed in an attack launched by the Houthi fighters on military sites of the Yemeni government forces in the southern province of Lahj. A group of Houthi fighters carried out an attack and attempted to advance military on the ground in order to capture key sites controlled by the government forces in the northern part of Lahj. This was said by a local military official. The Houthi attack sparked intense fighting, leaving at least 5 rebels and 3 government soldiers killed, adding the rebel fighters were forced to retreat following hours of intense fighting. Following the attack, large Houthi reinforcements were dispatched from the neighboring province of Taiz to key areas located near Lahj that houses a number of military bases of the Yemeni government forces, according to the official. Earlier this month, local officials said that Yemen's warring parties are gearing up for new waves of conflict in 2023, amid a lack of decisive steps towards sustainable peace. Various regions in Yemen have witnessed sporadic armed confrontations between the local warring factions after a ceasefire brokered by the UN in April expired in October last year. Talk of violations committed by the Houthi coup militia is not new. Each morning we read about new violation of the rights of Yemeni people amid an embarrassing world silence, which proves that self-interests are the dominant factor in international relations, and that the protection of human rights is only a banner raised by many parties to wash their hands of crimes committed by the Houthi groups. Amid such shameful scenes, there is a kind of responsibility that world and Arab human conscience should bear, which is to swiftly take effective actions to save Yemeni victims from the imminent death under the control of the Houthi group, which doesn't care for Yemeni citizens or their right to live.
A tribal sheikh was found killed inside his house south of Sana'a. Local sources said that citizens found the body inside one of the rooms of his house in the village of As-Sufla. The sources indicated that unknown persons stormed his house and carried out their crime before escaping. The government asserted the need to accelerate economic reforms and protect the local currency. This came during a recent meeting of the cabinet members. The following report gives more details.
Yemen is a poor country that has been suffering from an economic decline since the war erupted. The country is highly dependent on declining revenues from its small oil and gas reserves. Recently, the Yemeni government emphasized the importance of accelerating the implementation of reforms to protect the economy and the local currency. The cabinet reaffirmed its commitment to rationalizing spending and ensuring that revenue-raising measures have no negative impact on the population. Prime Minister Ma'in Abdel Malik discussed the steps that must be taken in order to confront the Houthi militia and end the coup. To increase resources, the government approved 50% increase in the US dollar exchange rate used to calculate customs duties on non-essential imported goods. According to official sources, the government evaluated its performance over the previous 2 years, discussed general political and economic conditions, and the financial and monetary measures it implemented in accordance with presidential directives to sustain national economic stability. In addition, the government reiterated its determination to maintain control over the measures, which will be accompanied by steps to maintain economic stability and prevent national currency collapse. According to official sources, the Yemeni government discussed the Presidential Leadership Council's instructions to provide the necessary facilities for the private sector and protect it as a significant partner in development and comprehensive economic reform. Also, the Prime Minister emphasized the importance of the government efforts and organizing priorities based on urgent needs in order to alleviate citizens' suffering. In addition, Kimberly Bell, the country director of the United States Agency for Development, expressed her desire to strengthen cooperation with the Yemeni Ministry of Finance and to provide potential support in financial systems that contribute to the development of government accounts and public finance. This happened during her meeting with the Finance Minister of Yemen to discuss the U.S. agency's project plan for the current fiscal year 2023.
The King Salman Center organized a bazaar for the beneficiaries of Youth Empowerment Support Project in Al-Mahra Governorate. The Assistant Director of the center inspected the pillars of the marketing bazaar, which include pastry making, sewing, embroidery, and beautification. This part, the Deputy Director General of the Office of Social Affairs appreciated the humanitarian support provided by King Salman Center. Yemen has urged the UNESCO to add more cultural sites to the list of the world endangered heritage. Recently, the organization included some sites in Lebanon, Yemen, and Ukraine in sites that face a threat due to the conflict. This report has more.
Yemen's government applauded UNESCO's decision to include ancient sites in Ma'rib's province on the list of World Heritage in danger and urged the UN Cultural Agency to include more. On Wednesday, UNESCO listed landmarks in the Saba Kingdom as endangered due to the threat of destruction posed by Yemen's civil war. Ma'rib has seen heavy fighting since the Houthi rebels took over the capital Sana'a in late 2014. Mohammed Jumeih, Yemen's ambassador to UNESCO, called the unanimous approval of the landmarks of the ancient kingdom of Saba in Ma'rib historic. He stated that the listing of this historic site is long overdue, and that given the importance it played in ancient civilization's economic activity, it deserved to be enlisted a long time ago. The UNESCO listing of the landmarks of the ancient kingdom of Saba describes them as 7 archaeological sites that bear witness to the rich kingdom of Saba and its architectural, aesthetic, and technological achievements from the first millennium BCE to the arrival of Islam around 630 CE. Mr. Jumaih said the listing underlined the need to urgently send a mission to study the reality of those monuments and prepare plans to protect and support them. The UNESCO designation provides sites with enhanced international assistance, both technical and financial, and aids in mobilizing the global community to ensure their protection. Yemen's former culture minister stated that more efforts were needed to safeguard the country's rich heritage. These landmarks, especially those in Ma'rib, are under severe threat. The location requires more than just a listing. They require a project to protect them. Many Yemeni officials have been at the forefront of preserving the country's cultural heritage for years, working alongside the UN. The former minister stated that Sabah Kingdom is critical to understanding Yemen and humanity, and he hopes that the listing will lead to more partnerships and projects with UNESCO and others who have worked with Yemen to preserve its cultural heritage.
Coming next in the news. Aden revives its cultural role by holding winter festival season.
ننشر ندي ماء من الغيل والغيلة بعيد، كنا ندي بالدواب نعبي ماء وتشجعنا. ننزل الساعة 5 ورجعنا الساعة 9.
ما يجي لنا ظهر لأنه زحمة ما حد يخلي الجهل يغرق، وإحنا تعبنا زيادة.
كنت أحس صدري يوجعني وعز قدرك ركبي يوجعيني.
كنا ما نستخدم حتى نغسل أولادنا إلا يعني بأيام معدودة.
كنت أغيب على المدرسة لأن كنت أروح الديمة.
حتى وإن كان يجي الأمطار تروح هدر لأنه ما في معي خزانة.
الوقت نشتري ب30,000 هي معها استهلاك ما يغلقش معها الشهر.
بس راح تطلب الله ولا أي حاجة، عاملة كل شغلك على الماء.
Welcome back. Aden organized the first culture winter festival since the war began. By holding such an event, Aden gradually regains its cultural role not only in Yemen but in the entire region. This report has more.
A bit of cultural and civilizational brilliance was restored in the interim capital Aden during the governorate's first winter cultural festival. The festival not only held intellectual seminars, art exhibitions, and concerts of popular and lyrical heritage, but it also honored one of the pillars of art in Yemen, the artist of the people, Mohammed Mohsen Atroush.
I had the impression that I was surrounded by compassionate individuals who respected and valued other people. Everyone should use the Yemeni people as an example.
Despite its limited duration, the festival threw a stone into the stagnant waters of culture and revived hopes of restoring Aden's civilized status as an enlightening and inspiring center whose influences went beyond the region of the Arabian Peninsula and the Gulf.
This is a glorious night for celebration in Aden. Amid the resurgence of turmoil, Aden revives its cultural heritage and creative outlets. The innovators in Aden hope to continue such endeavors and for winter to resurrect art and culture.
This is a wonderful initiative, and it is Aden's first cultural winter event, organized by the Ministry of Media and local authorities. This event is historical, as Aden lives and breathes culture, coexistence, and awareness. All citizens should feel a sense of belonging. Even military personnel found this event refreshing, and they were glad to participate. We have to reject sectarianism and discrimination. There is nothing that should deter Yemenis from claiming their national identity.
Intellectuals and media professionals attended the festival, describing it as one of the tributaries that enhance culture and arts in Aden and demanding that it be held on a regular basis. Culture and art flourish on the slopes of the city of Aden, with science and literature witnessing a resurgence.
An economic report revealed that Yemen needs a cash reserve in foreign currencies in no less than $10 billion. This cash is needed to cover the cost of imports for the coming period and to develop production and export activities. The report issued by the Export Development Center said that stopping factory production due to the decline in imports of raw materials increased Yemen's dependence on imports by more than 85%. The value of collecting the due revenues in Lahj amounted to more than 500 million reals during the past year. The director of the General Authority in Lahj said that 3 new investments have been registered at 56 billion reals, and the value of exempted fixed assets is more than 38 billion reals. This provides 270 direct and permanent job opportunities. The war has cast a shadow on the agriculture sector in Yemen. Farmers in Lahj started growing sweet potatoes as a way to expand their income sources. This report has more.
The agricultural sector is one of the most important sectors that play a major role in the economic development, as it contributes to providing the population with food and agricultural products. In Taz, farmers are expanding the cultivation of sweet potatoes with the aim of increasing agricultural work.
We resorted to farming due to the war conditions and rise in prices. Also, because the salary is not enough to afford the basic necessities.
The farmers began harvesting sweet potatoes in a unique and new way, through which they seek to diversify agriculture in a way that contributes to improving living conditions and raising the productivity of farmers amid the war and its economic consequences.
We face many obstacles because we need a lot of water and a fertile soil. If it isn't moist, the potatoes won't grow.
The farmers in Yemen face many difficulties, including the need for abundant water, high oil derivatives, and the nature of the soil. The farming lands need to be moist in order to have a better production.
We face many difficulties because it takes up 5 to 6 months for the potatoes to grow. We also need a lot of water and a solar system support to help the farmers.
Despite the troubles and hardship farmers face, they try their best to work hard and raise capacities and expand their cultivation in the coming years in a wider agricultural area.
The total local revenues collected in the valley of Hadramaut amounted to billion and about 460 million, with an increase of 48% over 2021. The Director General of Financial Resources explained that the rate of increase in resources jumped to 102%. This came as a result of the keenness of specialists on their importance as the basis for local investment projects and improving services provided to citizens. The Marib City Directorate is witnessing the implementation of 10 projects in the educational, health and services sector. These projects will be implemented at a cost of 1,656 million reals with local funding. The Acting Director General of the Directorate said that some projects have reached a completion rate of 90% and their implementation is being followed up to complete them on time. Here is a reminder of the main headlines. Houthis launch an attack on government forces' positions in Lahj and kill 8 soldiers. The government asserts the need to accelerate economic reforms and protect the national currency. Yemen urged the UNESCO to add more sites to the list to the World Endangered Heritage. This is the end of the news. It was Abir Ali and thank you for watching.